Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT and Stranger Things issue number 1. And yeah, this whole issue was pretty interesting. Okay, so before we actually go into this review, I do quickly want to talk about this whole main series as a whole quickly before we go into this one, just so I know where my mindset is going into this one. So first of all, I don't really know too much about Stranger Things whatsoever. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes here or there, but I pretty much know nothing about this show, and when hearing about this news about this miniseries, I didn't really think too much of it, and I thought that it was really stupid, just because I didn't really think that the two franchises would really work well, just because they don't have too much in common, so yeah. But then, after reading this issue, I'll just say that my mindset has changed quite a bit, and I am looking forward to seeing where this whole miniseries does go in the next following issues. But at the same time, with how they handled this whole issue and how they're handling things so far, this crossover, I can't say that it's going to be the best crossover ever, and I still don't think this one was really necessary whatsoever, and it still just feels like a total cash grab. But other than that, it did feel pretty good and really great. Okay, so starting the review off, we do get to see the Stranger Things kids. They're in New York City, they're travelling there for some reason, and they're having a school trip there, and they're going around New York City, and that's when they get split off from their school group, and they start to go down into the sewers for some reason, to catch up with the other school trip and all that. But then that's when they hear a noise, and they go into the sewers, and that's when they see a mouser that's fused together with a demon thing. I'm guessing this demon thing is from Stranger Things, and the demon thing looks really cool combined with the mouser. Yeah, it looks so cool. I really do like the creativity of it, and I do hope they do a lot more of this type of stuff. So yeah. And then we do get to see some really cool stuff where we do get to see the turtles come in and fight the mouse or demon thing and kill it, and that was just amazing, so great. I just love that bit so much. I think that the dark elements of the turtles really did mix well with the mouser and the demons. It just worked so well, but at the same time I think that because it's a brand new version of the turtles, and it also feels like with the turtles you need to build up to the mysterious demon type stuff, and I don't think that we're going into a brand new TMNT universe and going straight into the mysterious demons and underworld stuff with the turtles really fits the whole brand. But I do think it works well enough for this story just because it does have stuff to do with Stranger Things. But I think that if you take Stranger Things out, then I do think that this bit would be really bad for the turtles. But yeah. So then after that we do get to see the turtles and Stranger Things kids to go back to the turtles lair. I'll say that this bit here is probably where things get good, bad, and just a little bit weird for a few different reasons. Okay, so with the bad stuff, there are quite a few things in here that I didn't really like all too much. Okay, so the first bad thing which I don't really enjoy too much is the fact that in this issue, and this bit in particular, they're just really rushing things. Whenever we get to see the Turtles and Stranger Things interact really all too much, never really get to see any sort of proper introductions, and I do think that with a crossover like this, with a big variety of characters and stuff like that, there's so many possibilities and options for them to take with them interacting with other characters, but yeah, they don't really interact all too much, other than the typical characters that you would expect them to interact with. But also, that being said, I feel as though that because they didn't actually give any sort of introduction to these characters, especially Stranger Things characters, it did feel a bit weird, seeing the characters interact without actually knowing anything about them whatsoever. So I do think that was a little bit weird on their part, but I think if I had watched Stranger Things beforehand, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that works really well and that and that and that. But I think that because I don't have any knowledge with Stranger Things, it does feel a bit weird with them just automatically just going off and doing the the turtle stuff and going off and going out to fight the villains without any sort of introductions or interactions, which I do think definitely is a negative thing for this whole issue. But I do think that if I had read Stranger Things or seen Stranger Things a lot more, then I do think that this problem would not have been as bad, but I do definitely think that them rushing the whole story is also good and bad for a few different reasons. So then for the good stuff, which I'll say that's also also negative in a way with them rushing it, is the fact that they don't really spend too much time with them just being around the bush or just setting things up and stuff like that, and then in the next issue them actually interacting. Just because I've seen that in the past few crossovers that I've done with Usagi Jimbo, where the first issue they're sort of more or less on their own, and then at the very final page they were together, and the second issue they were fighting. I think that almost happened in the Batman one as well, The Power Rangers one I think also happened. So I do like how they are more or less going away from the stereotypical stuff which they normally do in these crossovers, which I do think is good. But also with that being said, with the bad things, is that I do rush a lot of stuff and just, well, let's just go into like important stuff which I do feel as though that was important to expand upon. So after that, we do get to see 11 go into Baxterwoman's mind and do some pretty cool stuff there, and we do get to see Baxterwoman writing down number 11 on multiple different pieces of paper, more trying to get her like attention and stuff like that, and gives her an address, and then that's when basically like, the Turtles and Stranger Things characters split up into two groups, go off to fight Baxterwoman, and I think they're going off to fight demons, so yeah. And after that, we do get to see the two teams split off, and we do get to see Donnie, Raph, and two of the Stranger Things kids. They go off, and they go after Baxterwoman, and that's pretty much where we do lead off. So yeah, I must admit overall this whole issue so far, I do think that they did a lot of good things in this issue. And I do also think that there's also a lot of bad things in this issue as well. And I do think that if I had prior knowledge to Stranger Things, then my excitement and hype for this whole mini-series would be a lot higher, I'd say, because I'll then know what to expect for Stranger Things stuff. But I do think that I did do a really poor job of really setting things up in terms of the story, in terms of like the characters, just because I've got a feeling that quite a few people don't really know too much about Stranger Things, whereas everyone knows about the Turtles, so I do think that it may be a bit confusing for some people. I mean, I myself can't really understand some of this stuff because of the Stranger Things stuff, but I do think some fans might struggle as well, but I do think that's only because they didn't do a good job of setting things up with the Stranger Things stuff. But I do think there's also a lot of really good things about this stuff as well. So I just think it's going to be one of those mixed things that I think it's going to have to wait and see whether or not they actually pull this whole mini-series off to actually be good or not. But I do have high hopes for this one. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Do you like it? Do you not? And stuff like that. Are you looking forward to it? Do you actually understand Stranger Things? Yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do some, please share, let's just grab a lot of stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.